prices of raw materials for construction industry has hit the roof. Across the built environment of Indian real estate, there are allegations of cartelization on part of the raw material manufacturers. There is a clarion call to halt the construction as well. Everybody is talking about how this raw material price hike is going to hit the construction cost. Track to Realty tried to capture the mood of the other side of the stakeholder, that is the demand side. Nobody is talking about the Indian home buyers. Everybody is talking about how the price hike is going to affect the construction sector. In any given industry, the corresponding price hike ultimately affects the buyers. So with this survey, Track to Realty tried to gauge the mood of the nation, and some of the findings are 90% of home buyers are concerned with input price hike. 82% are categorically saying that they can't absorb price hike and they will surrender their booked apartment. There is fear of escalation clause in the mind of a large number of people. 74% home buyers are apprehensive that the developers will compromise with the quality. 94% buyers want to stay away from construction under construction property. These are the findings of the survey. Now, in the backdrop of these findings, we are trying to touch upon some of the areas to see how things have gone from bad to worse. The first aspect is it cartelization? Are cement and steel manufacturers up to cartelization? Prima facie, it seems there is a cartelization. There is no economic rationale of price hike to this extent. And this is not something new. In 2019, Competition Commission had cracked down on cement and steel manufacturers. Last year only, the Union Road Transport and Highways Minister Nitin Gadkari also accused the cement and steel industry of cartelization. So it seems very obvious that there is a cartelization. The second important issue is that developers are saying that they will halt the construction. Are they really serious about it? Or is it just a public posturing? A developer privately admits that it's a public posturing. If the choice is between spending 2 crores extra on construction cost or stopping the operations and bearing 4 crores, because most of the developers are sitting on huge debt. So most of the developers are just saying it for the sake of it to put pressure on the government. It also depends on the scale of operations and fiscal efficiency of the developer. Suppose somebody is not having debt on the books or is cash rich company, and they have their project at the initial stage of construction, probably they can afford to do that. But for the developers who have borrowed heavily, who are midway their construction, they cannot stop it. So it all depends on your fiscal bandwidth and stage of construction. Stage of construction and financial bandwidth will define whether the developer can afford to go for a construction halt or not. But by and large, it's just a public posturing. Second and the most important issue is, should the government intervene at this point of time? Once again, the government has maintained its equidistance from both the construction industry as well as the supply side raw material manufacturers. Barring the two incidents where the Competition Commission of India had cracked down on cement and steel industries in 2019, there has hardly been any policy intervention. This is high time for policy intervention. What are the options that government can explore? First of all, there should be a comprehensive policy on supply chain. As of now, it's a free market economy and there is no comprehensive policy. Next, government can also look forward, think of fixing or capping the raw material price. Third is crackdown on cartelization. Most of the steel and cement in manufacturers are not up to their capacity utilization. They are hardly 60% to 70% of their capacity utilization, and still they are hiking the price without any economic rationale. Last but not the least, after the Russia-Ukraine war, there is a demand of steel, cement, and many such commodities across the world, and India is also one of the exporters. So, what government can do is discourage export of raw materials so that more and more raw materials are available within the country. These are some of the measures. Irony is that while the developers are crying hoarse, they are trying to put pressure on the policymakers, they are taking a public posturing. Nobody within the built environment of real estate is talking about the most important stakeholder of the sector, that is the home buyer.